Hello, my name is Gary, and I was raised in the western United States, so I'm a native English speaker. I hope that you will enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.
The 38 Letters from J D Rockefeller to His Son by J D Rockefeller, 1839 to 1937. The 16th letter. Don't make excuses. April 15th, 1906. Dear John, Captain Schofield lost again, and in anger he threw his beautiful golf club into the air, and he had to buy a new one. Honestly, I like the captain's personality more. The goal of struggle in life is to win, and the same is true of playing, so I'm going to buy him a new club. Hopefully, it won't be seen as a reward for his tantrums. Otherwise, I'll be miserable if he gets out of control. Captain Schofield also has a commendable advantage. Although losing will make him unhappy, he believes that winning itself is not everything, and how to win is the most important thing. So after losing, he never makes excuses. In fact, he could have justified his loss by saying, I'm too old and not in good physical strength, but he never did. In my opinion, excuses are a kind of mental illness, and people with this serious illness are all losers without exception. Of course, most people also have some mild symptoms, but the more successful a person is, the less excuses he will make. The biggest difference between those who are prosperous and those who do nothing is the excuse. Just pay attention and you'll find that people who don't do anything and don't plan to do anything often have a bunch of excuses explaining why they don't do it, why they can't do it. The first action of a loser before his death is to find various reasons for his failure. I despise those who are good at making excuses because it is the behavior of cowards, and I also sympathize with those who are good at making excuses because making excuses is a source of failure. Once a loser finds a good excuse, he will hold on to it and then always use this excuse to explain to himself and others why he can't go on, why he can't succeed. At first, he may know that his excuse is more or less a lie, but after many uses, he becomes more and more convinced that it is completely true. That excuse is the real reason for his failure, and as a result, his brain starts to be lazy and rigid, and the motivation to work hard to find a way to win is zero. But they are never willing to admit that they are excuse people. Occasionally, I've seen someone stand up and say, I succeeded by my own efforts. So far, I've never seen any man or woman who dares to stand up and say, I'm the one who made me fail. Losers have a bunch of excuses for being a loser. They blame their failure on family, personality, age, environment, time, skin, color, religion, people, and even astrology. And the worst excuses are health, intelligence, and luck. The most common excuses are health reasons. A sentence, I'm not in good health, or I'm sick in one way or another, becomes a reason not to do anything or to fail. In fact, no one is completely healthy and everyone has some physical problems. Many people succumb to this excuse in whole or in part, except those who are determined to succeed. Mr. Gates once introduced me to a college professor who unfortunately lost an arm. But like every optimist I have ever known, he was always smiling and always helping others. Talking about his disability that day, he said, of course, 2 arms are better than 1, but only my arm was removed and my mind is 100% intact and normal. It's to be thankful for that. There's an old saying, I've been annoyed with my broken shoes until I met a man without feet. It's better to be happy with your health than to complain about the discomfort. Being grateful for the health you have can effectively prevent many diseases. I often remind myself that it is better to be exhausted than to let it go. Life is for us to enjoy. If we waste time worrying about our health and really want to get sick, that is truly a misfortune. The excuse, I'm not smart enough, is also very common. Nearly 95% of people have this problem, but with a completely different manifestation. This excuse is different in that it is usually silent. People don't openly admit that they're not smart enough, but they think deeply in their minds. I find that most people have two fundamental misconceptions: underestimating their own intelligence and overestimating the brain power of others. Because of these mistakes, many people despise themselves. They are reluctant to face challenges which require considerable intelligence. People who think they are stupid are really stupid people. They should know that if one values intelligence and has the courage to try, then one can do well. I think what really matters is not how much intelligence you have, but how you use the intelligence you already have. To be a good businessman, you don't need agility. You don't need an amazing memory. The only key to being at the top of the school is to have a strong interest and enthusiasm. For business, interest and enthusiasm are important factors in determining success or failure. The results of everything are often proportional to our enthusiasm. Enthusiasm can make things 100 times, 1,000 times better. Many people don't know what enthusiasm is. The so-called enthusiasm is a wonderful thing. I believe that a person of average intelligence who has an optimistic, positive, and cooperative attitude towards life will make more money, gain more respect than a person of intelligence who is pessimistic, passive, and uncooperative. Whether a person faces with small tasks, trivial, arduous tasks, or important plans, as long as he is dedicated and enthusiastic in completing them, the results will be much better than those who are smart but lazy. Because concentration and persistence account for 95% of a person's ability, some people always lament why so many smart people fail. If an extremely smart person always uses their amazing brain power to prove why things can't work out instead of using his intelligence to find various ways to succeed, then the fate of failure will find him. Negative thoughts drag on their minds, preventing them from doing their best and accomplishing nothing. If they can change their mentality, I believe they will do many great things. A brain that wants to achieve great things but doesn't know how to think is just a bucket of cheap glue. The way of thinking that guides us to develop our strengths is much more important than our intellectual level. Even a high level of education cannot change the basic rule of success. Education and innate intelligence are not the real reason of good or bad performance, but the management of ideas. Many people believe that the so-called knowledge is power. In my opinion, this sentence is only half right. Those who use lack of intelligence as an excuse also misunderstand the meaning of this sentence. Knowledge is only a potential power, and its power can only be manifested when knowledge is used and applied constructively. At Standard Oil, there will never be an employee like a living dictionary, because I don't need an expert who can only remember and doesn't know how to think. I want people who can really solve problems, who can come up with all kinds of ideas, who have dreams and the courage to realize them. Creative people can make money for me. People who can only memorize data cannot. A person who does not use intelligence as an excuse will never underestimate his own intelligence nor overestimate the intelligence of others. He focuses on using his assets and discovering the great talents he possesses. He knows that what really matters is not how much intelligence he has, but how he uses what he has and how he uses his intellectual power. He will often remind himself, my mentality is more important than my intelligence. He has a strong desire to develop an I will win attitude. He knows to use his ingenuity to be actively creative, to find ways to succeed, not to prove that he will fail. He also knows that thinking is more valuable than memory. He uses his mind to create and develop new ideas, find new and better ways to do things, and remind himself at all times, I am creating history with my mind, or just recording history created by others. Everything happens for a reason, and human encounters cannot happen by chance. Therefore, many people always blame their failures on bad luck, and when they see others succeed, they think it is because they are lucky. I never believe in good or bad luck, except I think careful planning and action create luck. If luck decides who does what, every business will fall apart. Assuming that Standard Oil is reorganized purely by luck, the names of all the company's employees would be put into a vat, and the first name drawn is the president, the second is the vice president, and so on. Funny, right? But that's a function of luck. I never succumb to luck. I believe in the law of cause and effect. Look at those who seem lucky and you'll see that it's not luck, but preparation, planning, and positive thinking that bring beauty to them. Look at those unlucky people and you'll see there are clear reasons behind it. Successful people can face setbacks, learn from failures, and create new opportunities. The mediocre are often discouraged by this. A person cannot succeed by luck, but at the cost of hard work. I don't want to rely on luck to win and get other good things in life, so I focus on developing myself and developing the qualities that make me a winner. Excuses keep most people from success. 99% of failures are due to people's habit of making excuses. So, to pursue a successful career, one of the most important steps is to prevent yourself from making excuses. Love your father.